it was on a Tuesday. When I woke up going to the bathroom, I felt something fell in the bathroom, like cha. And I looked at it and there was nothing. I saw nothing. You're married? Yeah, I'm married. For how long? For 3 years. Do you have kids? No. Then she told me, you see, taking family planning, you see how weak you are because of family planning. Yeah, second year, nobody bothers you. Third year, they start watching your tummy. Fourth year, they start asking questions.
Yeah.
Fifth year, they start praying with you.
Yeah.
Sixth year, you are the prayer.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's good to have you back. And today we have our guest back. She's here to bring us a new story, and she's here to give us more insight in something else. Julie, karibu sana.
Asante.
Kwa wenye hawakujui, introduce.
My name is Julia Waithera Karaoke, and I am a mother of 2. Yes, and I'm a freelancer writer.
Okay. That's good to hear. Julie, uko na story very inspiring, and inaguzia so many women, na ina-inspire so many women.
Yeah.
I think I'd love my audience to get to know your story. Can you tell us a story?
Well, I don't know where to begin, but maybe okay, let me find the beginning. Okay, my story is about waiting for like getting children. I don't know if yani kugoja unapogoja kupata watoto, because I really waited. It was a long time because me I finished college, that is in 2013. Yeah, it was 2013 October. And immediately
After school?
Yeah, because after Form 4 is when we started a relationship with my husband.
Yeah.
And so I was dating when I'm in school. So I went to college for 3 years. So by the time I was finishing school, we were already in a relationship for 4 years because I had begun earlier.
Yes.
So by the time I'm finishing school, we were ready to settle down and get married.
Yeah.
So, and we didn't actually do a church wedding. So we went, saw the parents, and boom, we became, we got married.
Yeah.
And so most of the people actually from my home, they thought, because I was a church girl and everything, and you know, when you are in church, most people are expecting you to get to have a wedding or something. So they thought I got married because I was pregnant. Most people thought I was rushing to marriage because I was already pregnant. And so even my parents thought so, and they were trying to investigate me, and they were saying, why are you rushing?
So they would come actually ask you, like,
They would not ask directly, but later on, it's when my mother told me, you know, we thought you were pregnant. Why were you rushing to marriage? Like, we thought there was something going on.
Yeah.
Because, you know, when you are waiting, the first year, second year, nobody bothers you. Third year, they start watching your tummy. Fourth year, they start asking questions.
Yeah.
Fifth year, they start praying with you.
Yeah.
Sixth year, you are the prayer item even in the churches. You can get me. So within that process, there are a lot of conversations that goes on, and that's when you come to realize some things. Like, and when we were talking with my mom, that's when I could remember. She used to interrogate, why are you rushing into marriage? Why can't you wait? Why, like those whys, I came to realize, they wanted me to come out and say, I'm pregnant. But there was nothing like that actually. Even when I got married, I and my husband, we decided for this 1 year we will not try having children. Even he told me, don't try even looking for a job. Let's just enjoy our lives together. Then after 1 year, we start figuring out things.
Wow.
So so it was like that. So I was so innocent when they were asking, why are you rushing? I said, me, I just want to get married. I feel I'm ready and such stuff. So,
and then this time you're going to see the parents so that you can move in. They didn't give you a pressure that, no, we want you to have a church wedding, we want you to do things.
We told them we don't want a church wedding. Because by the way, you know, I came to realize later on that people are financed like church wedding. You can do church wedding with a zero budget and tell people to donate. Yeah. I used to know that. My husband is broke, I am broke, so we don't have to do the to bother
people.
So yeah, so we went to our parents and his parents, and then we looked for a pastor, prayed for us, and that was it.
Oh, that's good. That's also a good idea.
That was it.
Mm.
So I did it. I was thinking that I never, you when you don't know,
You don't know.
Later
True.
on is when I came to realize, yeah, you can do a marriage with because I've seen people doing marriage, they going to wedding, and you're asking them, what do you have, and they're saying, okay, me, I don't have nothing, but I want this wedding. That's when I came, and that's why I'm big with supporting people who are doing weddings, because I can understand them. Like you have, because as we didn't have that idea,
Yeah.
and at the time we were going to a big church, we didn't know people. We were like backbenchers in the church,
Yes.
so you don't know who to approach, you don't know what to do. So, but all in all, we were happy.
Yeah.
And then when now the 1 year ended, the friends that we got married at the same time, they began having children, and that's when I realized, even me, I want a child.
Yeah.
So in the second year, I was like, I want a child. Third year, in 2015, no, 2016. Now that's when it clicked to me. Hey, why am I not getting pregnant? And so I started, one of my friends, we used to go to the same church in the village. She told me, oh, there's this guy now. I also had stayed 2 years without a child.
Yeah.
And when I went there, they helped me and I got a child. So I went to the guy now. He checked me up and said, oh, you have no problem. You just keep trying. And that's when I kept trying. Now that's when I began the search. You know that the big search.
Yes.
When you're because the other time after 2014 coming to 2015, I was not trying or emphasizing on it. But after 2015, that's when now I became actively searching. 2016, I went to the guy now.
Yeah.
So and he told me, you just take your time, you are good, there is no problem. Okay. So 2017, by God's grace, I became pregnant. And I was so excited. I remember I was very, very excited. And after it was after you're pregnant 6 weeks, in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Because when you skip the periods,
Yes.
a week later is when you realize, hey, something is
It's
different.
different.
So it went on for 2 weeks. The excitement, you have tested, it's positive.
Yeah.
Then 2 weeks later, you get this bad feeling and everything. So I was at work, and that work was used to be very tedious because we used to move to cities, and as we worked, we used to move everywhere. So at that time, I was in, it's called South B. Yeah, we were in South B, and that's when I began feeling, am I getting my periods back? And so I entered into a certain hotel and I asked them, can I use your bathroom? Yeah, they said you can use your bathroom. I actually used the staff bathroom, and then that's when I saw spotting, and I was so shocked. I was confused. I didn't know what to do. But because we were finishing the work, that day it was on a Friday, so we were finishing midday. So we went back. We had a meeting in the office. We used to finish the rounds midday, and then we go to the office and sum up the whole week. In the office, I could not sit still because I was feeling. I had a tummy ache, not too bad, but I was feeling something bad is happening. So I called my husband. That time, I told him, let's go back to the hospital. Then he didn't take it seriously because I did not alarm him. So in the evening when we came, we went to the hospital. That's when that night I had my first miscarriage, and I was so broken. I felt like, what is happening with me? What is going on? What could be wrong? But anyway, when I talked to people when you say what you went through, most people were telling me, you should thank God. Now you can get pregnant. And I was like, awkward, but it's okay. Yeah, right.
I just lost a baby there.
Yeah.
You guys telling me.
When you're going, me, when I'm going through a difficult situation, I don't express myself at that time.
Yeah.
So I would wait to heal and come back. That's when I was tell them, but they I was pregnant and I lost it. So it will not be like it's now. Pray for me, I'm going through this. I'll tell you last month something happened. You would are you sure? See, I used to see you going around. No.
So even at this time you're telling someone there's no this emotional crowd that if they say something you get super
you get emotional, but it's a bit
different.
It's not like high intensity because already
you've gone through
you have gone through it, you have figured out yourself. Me, by the way, when I'm telling people what I'm facing, it's like it comes in between conversations. I won't go to approach
that.
I won't come to tell you, gosh, you do know what this happened to me. Oh my God. You'll be talking about your issue, and I will tell you, by the way, don't worry. I also went through such an issue, this and this and this. You see, you would think like even me, I don't care, but I really, really care. So that's when, like, most people are telling me that, and I came to think about it and said, yeah, at least now I know I can be pregnant. You know, when you are not getting children, people think you will never get. And I know after that, even in that period before 2017, before I got the job at the place I was working, I had a small business in Githurai. I was selling like ladies tops, and there was this girl or woman. We were age mates, and at that time we were at our 20s, so we were girls. She used to, and you know me, I can call myself a fat girl. Yeah, because okay, compared to most people, I'm more like to the overweight side. So she used to tell me,
you're a flat
I tell her, oh, like you are married? Yeah, I'm married. For how long? For 3 years. Do you have kids? No. Then she told me, you see, you're taking family planning. You see how weak you are because of family planning. I told her, no, I am not taking family planning. So most people used to think if I'm taking family planning so that I can enjoy life. And then at that time we were like on our honeymoon stage all the time with my husband. Like when people see us, they used to think that we are boyfriend and girlfriend or something, because we used to be like hold hands, walk together. So we're excited.
Come pick you from work.
Yeah, even at that time he used to come to pick me, and that's why that lady was so curious. So when I told her I don't have children, she was like, family planning is the one making you so thick. Even another cousin of mine told my mother, it's because she's so overweight, that's why she's not getting children.
People can be so insensitive.
Okay, to them they are trying to help, but to you it's insensitivity because you know your whole story. Okay, what I would tell somebody there who is listening and they can relate to, like people being critical and you feel that they don't get it's that to them they don't know your whole story. You know your whole story because you know since when you woke up, or even in that whole journey, there are people who have asked me if I've ever aborted a child, and I'm like no, and you see somebody reacting like you are hiding something, you see, or other think it's because you are born again and you did not do a wedding, that's why. Yani, you get so many things, but they don't know your story. Because me, okay, I'm jumping. I'm jumping the gun.
It's okay.
But I came to realize that the whole process, it was a way, it was because at that time it's when I moved from being a small girl into a woman, from a person who just knows God, like from the books and from the Sunday school teachers, and like when you are young, the way you know God, into coming to such a deep relationship where when I hear God is almighty and he can do everything, I can understand it. That was a way that God passed me through so that we can have a tighter relationship with him. But when people used to think it, they used to see it like I'm going through a punishment for something I did. But me, I used to that time I had such an intimate relationship with God, because when you are waiting, when you are out there, you are waiting. The first time you start asking questions, you ask so many questions. We reached a time whereby we almost went to like seek blessings to our parents. Maybe we have you start questioning each and everything you have ever done. I remember even asking for forgiveness from a certain pastor who we had an argument in church. Even he did not remember, he did not know, but because me, I had scrutinized every aspect and every area of my life. Yani, you are all right. When I told this person in authority this, they cast me all. What happened? What happened? Then you come to realize God is teaching you.
It's a
And I
process.
thank God for my bishop, because
Mm.
at that time, when we would go to for prayer with my husband, he used to say, "Nyinyi hamjakosa watoto.
Mm.
You are blessed."
Mm.
And when I see you, I see you are not lacking. It's only time.
Mm.
And he used to tell me, God, when you are like when you are into greatness, God must pass you through a process so that He can build you for that greatness. And that word used to stick to me and to give me so much like encouragement and so much certainty. Have you ever been in a situation whereby it doesn't mean you are not crying, you are crying too much uncontrollably, but you have that certainty. At the end of it, I know
This will happen.
this will happen. And through that process, because I questioned God, I asked why me, and then you come back to asking God, now me, I can't wait any long. I hated listening to people's testimonies, because you could hear somebody say, I waited for 15 years. I would cry and tell God, you know me, God, I can't wait even for 5 years. And that time, me, if I wait for 5 years, I'll be broken. Then you reach 5 years. You say, no, God, now I'm not going 10 years. Like,
Yeah, you're giving
I
like
am
another,
ready to wait,
yeah,
but not that
this much.
long. Yeah. So you feel like when you hear somebody giving their story, you're like, no, God, don't allow me to go through that.
Yeah.
You see? So my relationship with God changed through many phases, like from asking God why me, blaming Him, and then trusting Him, and then knowing for certainty I'll get there. And so that was we were at my first pregnancy. It was on 2017. And then 2018? Yeah, 2018, I also got pregnant again. And also that one, I lost it at 2 months. And now it became like a routine. You know, the first time it's like, you even hear people tell you, people start opening up, and some tell you, even me, my firstborn, I also had a firstborn. And this and this happened, and you come to see, even, oh God, I'm privileged because it had gone only for 2 months. I was not that attached. So you hear people, they have lost their child in 5 months, other at birth, and people open up to you, and you feel, oh yeah. But when it comes to the second time, you feel, God, when this is becoming a habit. And I at that time, I felt so heartbroken. The second one really touched me, because, and it was at the end of 2018. I remember, because the first one I associated like the miscarriage with the job. So when I got the second pregnancy, and then at that time the gynecologist I was seeing, they told me, because you have lost the first child, the first pregnancy, this time take it easy. Just go to bed rest until you are past like 3 months, and so that you can be active. So that time I quit my job and everything. I was ready, like I was ready to go that pregnancy journey. But now it was 2018 at the end of the year. When the year was beginning, I lost it. Now I don't have a job, and I don't and I don't have that pregnancy. I was so depressed. I was so depressed. I At that time I hit rock bottom. The rock bottom of my life was in 2019, because there's nothing good like when you are out there with people. Even when you're going through stress, you meet people with their own things, with their own issues. Other are jokers. They don't like. They are not. You are not like all over, all around your problem. You go and meet. By that time, I had quit my job. I was in the house. It's me and my sorrows. So my husband would leave me on the seat, go to work, and come back and meet me there. I had not moved even a cup. Not even a cup. Like, I would say like that. Then he would come and feel sad, try to encourage me. It came to up to a point where even going to church was really hard. Like, have you been threatened to do something? Like, he used to threaten me, you have to go to church. And I used to, because at that time, especially, people, they don't know how to phrase things. Like in church, they would say, wamama wote wenye wako na watoto wabaki after service. So then you are like, okay, me ni mama, I'm married woman, but me sina watoto. So should I go or not? You see? Because they have said married women with children. But I came to understand they were meaning you could be married or you could be a single parent. So, but me, I used to think they are saying married women with children. So I used to feel so depressed. and like I don't want to go to that church again. And then because of the guilt that you have and your own stress, you think people are judging you, like, why have you stayed for long without a child?
Yeah.
And then you'd introduce yourself and say you are married, and they are like, oh, do you have children? You don't think they're asking you because they don't know you. You think they're asking you like judging you.
Yeah.
So I was so depressed and stressed. But when the year was ending in 2019, I remember in Akesha, I was in the Kesha at church and I knelt and told God, me God, I want a turnaround in my life because I was feeling if if that's what people call depression, me in 2019 I was depressed because I used to be so sad and I felt I have lost everything. I was so sad and sorrowful. I would have my moments of like happiness. Like I would go to people and be very happy and joyful, and then I come back to the house and cry
Oh.
and cry too much. And then
And how is the support at home at this time?
you know me, I go through stuff alone.
Yeah, I know.
So it's only my husband who used to know, and he would know only when he sees me crying or meets me. I'm not like moved from my where I am like the whole day.
Yeah.
Then he will get to know that there's something is going on wrong. But I otherwise people used to think you are just comfortable and happy. So I felt, but me in 20, I was saying about the Kesha. So at the Kesha, I cried and told God, I want to move on. I want to turn around. I don't care what has happened. And that's why I'm saying my relationship with God shifted, went through shifts. Because during the first pregnancy, I was asking, why me, why me? And then the second one, losing it, that's when I start blaming God. Why can you do this to me? Why is it so? What is it? What is happening? And then it turned now to God increase my faith. Now I would cry and say, God increase my faith.
Yeah.
You could see me like crying. You see the way people pray in church and you see somebody they are crying. Me, I say when I see somebody crying, give them time, let them cry. If you see somebody screaming, let them scream.
Yeah.
Because some pains, some people get comfort through that because you cannot go to talk. When you may be talking to somebody and then they turn us the story and convert to their own,
You
then you
disconnect.
feel they have discarded your feeling. But when you are dealing with the issues alone, if you express yourself when you are in front of people and when you're in front of God and you cry and cry, if that's your therapy, do it. Because me, I used to cry, and when I used to read a word and then I would cry about it and say, God, increase my faith. God, I know you can do it. I know you are able.
Yeah.
Just increase my faith. I know I'll get the child when I'll get it. So in 2019, when going to 2020, I started the year on a very high note.
Yeah.
I was so excited. I knew this is my year. I'm getting pregnant and I'm getting my child.
Yeah.
And I know, and I was so certain. I was so certain that that was my year. And God did not disappoint. In that month. It was on February. Yeah, I remember on February I got pregnant. I was so excited. I started the clinic so early, like even I did not test myself. When I got the symptoms, I went to my gynecologist and we began the process, and I was so happy. But unfortunately, before even like 2 months, 2.5 months, I can't remember well, I lost it again. And this time it was a process because when I saw spotting, I ran to the
Hospital.
to the it was
Gynecologist.
not it was the gynecologist, not the hospital, because the other two times I had gone to the hospital. You know, when you like when you're going through medical services, you start even questioning the process.
Yeah.
Because you think, maybe if I did not stay on the line waiting
long.
for my
Something
turn,
would have
maybe
been done.
yeah, or if I saw a specialist, maybe it would be. So this time I was dealing with a specialist.
Yeah. You didn't want.
And she was on call. Yeah, like everything small little thing, like you would call and ask, "Oh, is this okay or what?" So when we went to the hospital, I remember on a Monday, and my husband took me, and the gynecologist say, here you are saying you depending on your it's called EDD.
You expected due date.
No, the LMP, last menstrual period.
Period,
You are supposed to be at 12 weeks,
Mm.
and then, but from the scan, the B scan, it stopped growing at 2 months. So she said sometimes it happens. So I'll give you some medicines. You got it for a week, and then you come back. If it's not growing, we shall terminate it. But if it grows, it's good, because sometimes it can like be stagnant for a while, and then because she did not hear heartbeat, and then from the fetus, the way it was like at 8 weeks, and I was going to the clinic at 12 weeks with spotting, because I was like 1 week before. It was 1 week before I went for my next visit. For the monthly visit, it was 1 week before.
Yeah.
So when we were going home, I felt in my spirit that, you see, we were in an elevator going down, and then as we went to the stage, I felt in my spirit the word of God saying, even though I varied through the shadow of death, the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, because the Lord is with me. And then the interpretation was in Kikuyu, like mukuru hana duma yake ku. You know, look alike. In Kikuyu it means inakaa, sio ya kifo, ni kukaa tu. So I was like certain. I felt the certainty in my heart that this is the value of shadow of death. It's a shadow. The shadow is not the real thing. It's a reflection of the thing.
Yes.
So I was so certain, and I called my bishop. We prayed together. I called my parents, and they told me we will pray. So when I was praying, I knew for certain that this is my child, and it will grow and nothing will happen. The following day, it was on a Tuesday, when I woke up going to the bathroom, I felt something fell in the bathroom, like cha. And I looked at it, and there was nothing. I saw nothing. You know these balls, the closet, the water closet.
Yeah.
When something falls, you might see it. If it doesn't, if you don't flush it.
Yeah.
And when I checked, I didn't see anything. Then my husband said, "What could fall?" Because it made a sound.
He also heard it.
No, I explained to him the sound I felt. So he was even taking bread and squeezing it and throwing, and said, "Is that sound?" No. It was a bit heavier. And then we experiment, then we called the gynecologist, we told her, and then she said, "You just take the medicine. Are you feeling pain?" No. You just take the medicine, take your time, rest, don't do anything, don't lift anything. Just rest, and then as we have scheduled, you will come on Monday. So me, I looking back, is when that thing I take it with weight, but at that time I was like, okay, she has said all is well if I'm not feeling pain, and I was not bleeding too much.
Yeah.
And so it was just spotting.
Yeah.
So we continued that week. Went, and then on a Friday, I remember my parents, like my father, they are three brothers, and so they had taken time to pray at our home.
Yes.
So they were praying on that Friday, and me that Friday I dreamt with a flag. I was in with my cousin, and that time I had never taken a house help. And then I dreamt that one of the house helps, my house help has taken my makeup, and then it has affected them, and their face was so swollen. And then now I was asking her, if you go back to your home and they see your face swelling like this, they will think I'm the one who beat you up.
Yeah.
And then my cousin was in the kitchen, and she said, don't mind her. Do you know now your flag is green? She has taken your black flag. I was like, huh? That's when I woke up. I told my mom that dream, and she said, we were praying, but it shows that that situation you are going through, it's now done. You are good to go. You get your child. Nothing is the problem. So if that the person who who you saw, they have carried all your troubles, and now you have the green flag, because green is for the black flag is for everything bad and darkness. Now you are good. So I was so excited. But that Saturday, now in the afternoon, I felt a pain that I cannot describe even now, because I remember I was lying on the sofa, and then the pain was too much until I knelt down, and I
It's just
squeezed myself like because it was too much pain, sharp pain. And I had taken my lunch medicine. When I called my husband, she said, "Take another medicine. You don't wait for the time. Just take take another painkiller." And then I'm coming faster. We go back. We go to the hospital because the gynecologist,
Mm.
their offices were closed because it was like on Saturday 4 p.m.
Mm.
And I did so. And when I took the medicine, I slept. I woke up. I was healed. Like I was okay, and I called him and I said, you just take your time coming. Me, I feel good." So on Saturday, I woke up. That whole week, it was my husband who was doing everything.
Mm.
He was doing the house chores, washing the dishes, cooking. He would do everything and then go to work.
Yeah.
So me, my mine was just sleeping. Even the lunch, he would leave it there. I would move just to go to the bathroom.
Mm.
So that Sunday, I woke up energetic. I told her, "Me, I'm healed. That dream I dreamt,
Gone.
it's gone. Everything, I'm healed." I was I had no sign of sickness or pregnancy. I was so okay. I was so happy.
Mm.
I cooked. I did everything.
Mm.
So and on Monday, waking up on Monday, it was time now to go for a scan and know what's going on.
Mm.
And to me, yeah, my prayers were answered. I knew everything was okay.
Yeah.
So and because I knew the process, so when the first thing I went to the gynecologist, I went for the scan and then came back now to queue
Yeah.
to see the doctor.
Mm.
So when me, I know how to read the scan. I have a background in medicine,
Yes.
but I decided this one I'm not reading it.
So
So
you didn't even open
you know that the scan people they give you in an envelope.
Yes.
So I did not read. I was so excited. I was like, me, I'm good.
Mm.
So when the doctor went and opened it and told me, "From the way I'm seeing here, your uterus is so clean, like you have never gotten pregnancy. You like everything is so clean and clear." Oh, forgot to tell you, my second pregnancy. If you can remember, even your husband took us to the hospital because I had to do an MVA because it came out part of it, and then another one
I
remained.
thought that was the third one. It was the
It
second.
was the second one. So, and I think that's where the depression was coming from because that process is gruesome. It's ugly. Anyone who has gone it, they know. Like, MV is so ugly and gruesome and terrible, and the worst thing that has ever happened to me.
Mm.
It's so weird. It was an emergency. We went to the hospital at night.
Mm.
When we went to the hospital, we went at night. We were sent back home.
Mm.
So, and I was given some, I don't know if painkillers. Oh no, they were to prevent me from like over bleeding. And the medicine, the effect was puking. So I was puking all the way in the cab. They had to stop on the road. I puked. That the second pregnancy, that miscarriage was so ugly. It was the ugliest thing.
Mm.
It was ugly and sickening, and the whole experience was just bad.
Yeah.
So this time, me, I was like, "Are you serious?" Me, I didn't go through that chaos.
And
Why are you telling me so I was like, "Why are you telling me I've lost the child and I've not gone through that process?"
yeah.
Like there was no much bleeding, it was spotting and everything. Kumbe,
Mm.
when the fetus stopped growing,
Mm.
there was no blood. It was like a dead thing. So when on that Tuesday when I felt something drop, it was the whole thing. Like it was there, it went. And God masked me. I did not see anything. So
It didn't affect
it
you.
yeah, in my mind, I there was no ugliness like the second time. So when he told me, "You look clean, you are good," the only resolution that I came, okay, I cried all the way to home. But when we reached home, my husband, because he did not take me, he fears hospitals and bad news. So he had not taken me. He had told me, "You call our sister in law to take us." And then I said, we are just giving her stress.
Mm.
Because me, according to me, I was going to be told, "You are good, your child is good,
Yes.
it's okay."
You go.
You go home and have fun.
Yeah.
So I did not go with anybody. So I was holding myself like people will not see me cry on the car, on the road alone. So I was holding myself, but the tears were falling when yani with the news. So when we came to the house, my husband said, "This is our resolution. One, we are not the ones giving ourselves children. Two, we have tried because we had used a lot of medicine, a lot of money buying those medicines like fertility medicines, everything, gynecologist visits.
Yeah.
They are quite hectic, and imagine going for a gynecologist for a whole year. It's 2K every month. The one I was going, because past consultation is 2,000. The first consultation is the one that is to 2,500, and then you count scan, then they give you some medicine, then they prescribe something for every month. It was so hectic. So we said no, now we are not doing it. And remember, I was so excited because I have my miracle.
Yes. I
So
remember.
we came back to the house and decided we are not going for a gynecologist. We are not going to pray about the child. We are not going even to try to have children.
You're just going to live your life.
Because saying, talking the truth, our sex life had changed from like enjoyment into baby making sessions. Like, you are doing it for the baby. When you have these all calendars, like he had a calendar, like the ovulation, my ovulation calendar, he had it, and I had it. So we are like, you are masters of the menstrual cycle. We had mastered it, like these are the 14 days.
Yes.
This due the 7th days due of what, then you come to ovulation. You know the cycle, the way it goes,
the way it's going
and
down.
there were safe days and the what. So we used to know, like, we wait for these days.
Yes, after the mucus, before the
Yeah,
mucus.
yeah. If you want a son, you hey, it's terrible. But we can laugh about it, but
No,
but it was a hectic process. So we said all these things, we are not doing them again. We'll stay like that. If we don't get children, like my husband was so big in, if we don't get children, I didn't marry you because of children. I married you because you are you. You are the one who wants children. And he used to ask me, if I did not marry you, do you want children? No. And me, I was like that. Me, if I'm not married, there are those people who are not married and they want children. Me, I used to think that children, it's part of a marriage.
Same.
But if I'm not married, me, I don't want children. Don't tell me about children.
I also used to have that, like,
Yeah,
I'm not too overly on babies.
babies. Yeah,
I'm like,
there are people who are not married and they want babies. Like,
yeah,
I would like to have a
two
child. I
boys,
don't
two
care the
girls.
father. But me, I was like, the
Don't go.
pressure was coming. So me, I was for, I want a child because I'm married. And so he told me, why are you getting married to get children? No. Okay, let's have fun in our life. So we made that resolution. It was on March. It was on March. So on April, COVID-19, it was 2020. So COVID-19 came. Everything was closed down. Churches were closed down. So we were left like that. We were not going to church. So one of my friends told me, let's because there is no church, let's go pray. She was going through a rough time in her life, and also I had gotten that miscarriage.
Yeah.
And also, there are, apart from children, there are other stuff that bother people.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of prayer requests, and so we decided we are going to fast for a week, and then be going to the prayer mountain every evening. We would meet because we do not stay in the same like estate. But now the prayer mountain was a place where it was a walking distance from my place and walking distance from her place. So we used to meet. So we prayed and prayed, and then on the last day, I also had the inspiration from God. I should make a sacrifice for my life, and so that if there is something that is blocking me from like having children or progressing, that it should be cancelled by the sacrifice. And when we finished praying, she insisted that for me, and she told me, have you ever tried giving sacrifice? And for those who are born again, those who believe like the heart of God can be moved. Me, I can say that God's heart was moved through that sacrifice, because it's after that sacrifice that I got my like I got my blessing.
Yeah.
Because now she insisted on me, try making a sacrifice. And I told her, okay, even me, I had the same. inspiration from God, from
Yeah.
the Spirit,
Yeah.
that this is what I should do. And she said, don't joke around. You know you joke around. She likes telling me I joke around. Wana mchezo mingi sana. We don't joke around this time. You go do it. And so when I was coming from that place, I knew I wanted to give a sacrifice, and I was certain of what I would give. And I remember now, when, because there was some like work I had done, I was expecting to be paid, and it's from there that I had told God, now this one is what I would give as a sacrifice.
Yeah.
So when the payment came, I went back to the prayer mountain again, but not with her this time, with me and my sacrifice.
Yes.
So, and I went and I prayed for it. I went to the same spot where, when I went there, I used to pray, because we could go play separately. You choose your spot, you pray, and then we finish together. So there was a spot that I had spotted for myself, and so I went back there and prayed for it, and then I finished. Then I went home and called my bishop and told him, now there is something I want us to pray about, and come. And I did not tell him like it's a sacrifice I'm bringing or anything. I told him just it's a prayer that I have. I want to pray about, and he said, okay, let's see each other on that day. You know what? So when I went to the office, I met them with his wife, and we sat there. And the things they were telling me is the things that the Spirit had spoken to me during the prayer time. Yeah. And he said, me, I always tell you, you don't have issues with getting child. You will get many children until you would say, now you are okay, that's enough. And he told me, the cycles of not completing the journey, like starting something and not being completed, is what we are going to break. And I told him, actually, I came for that. I have a sacrifice today that I want to sacrifice to break that cycle. And I just told him I had a sacrifice when he said that. And I felt, oh, you have said what my spirit was saying.
Yeah.
That's when I opened up and we prayed. And he told me, from today, whatever you have been, that cycle of like breaking, it broke the process, it's going to end. And I went home with certainty. And remember, we are not trying for children. Even when going, I was avoiding the topic of like children. I was going to break cycles of this not happening completely.
Had you observed this cycle in other things in your life?
Yeah, because I had, as I told you, I had opened a business, a clothing. I had like a tops. I was selling tops, and then I had another business that I had like put, and then it closed down. No, two. I had opened three businesses at that time, and then it would close. Like I would see, like, why is there a disconnection? And then when you are scrutinizing your life too much, you will see things. I always say I don't listen to doctors on the TV, because when they are talking, you feel they are explaining the disease I have. Because they will say you eat this kind of headache, this one, it's pointing at that disease. Then you think, oh, that's me.
So you feel like taking up to another next hospital.
Yeah.
Say I have this.
So me, I had scrutinized my life, the whole of it.
Yeah.
I had mentioned that we had even planned to go to our parents to like apologize and seek blessings, but that failed, because when I told my mom we are planning to go to seek blessings from my father, he said, no, your father has no issue. Maybe you go to your father-in-law. And then my husband would tell his mom, and no, maybe you go to your wife's place. And then we were like, so they have no issue, we are not going.
Wow.
Because all of them, they were so open, and I bless God, because of my in-laws, they never pressured me like, why are you not getting pregnant now? They had concern, and she would tell me, I like my mother-in-law, nilikuwa nimeenda ushirika and we prayed about you and God is doing, like, she would encourage me, not like the way I hear people say they are being fought. Because there is a girl from my village, she got married with her first husband, stayed just for 2 years, and she was chased away from that home that she's not getting children. But who is God? She stayed like a year or two, then got married to another person and got pregnant immediately. So me, thank God I was not in such situation whereby I'm being pressurized by in-laws. They were so supportive and they helped me. And there's no one day I can say I felt like they were discriminating me because I'm not pregnant.
Yeah.
Like I'm not having
Having
children.
children.
Yeah. And also they came to understand this is happening. They yeah, like they knew when I had miscarriage they would know.
Yes.
So they were so supportive, even my parents.
Yeah.
And so the pressure was like from few those things that you pick because you are oversensitive,
Yes.
not because somebody is maliciously doing it to you.
Yeah.
And so after now the prayers and breaking the cycles, I did not skip any like I did not skip any cycle.
Wow.
Because it was on April. On May when I was expecting a cycle, I received the symptoms.
Uh-huh.
So when I started showing symptoms,
You knew.
I ran. I ran. I ran back to the prayer place.
No,
Like
not
the
to the
prayer
Gaina
mountain.
now.
No. Okay. We had decided we are not going to hospitals. So even after knowing I'm pregnant, I ran now to the prayer mountain. I told God, God, this is your child. I was not trying to get pregnant. And I had told you, I have had enough. If when it's your time, it's your time. And because you have proven this is your time, now prove yourself. And I will not go for any clinic until I have broken the cycle. Because I used to like lose the pregnancy between 7 weeks, 8 weeks, and the other one was 12 weeks. But kumbe the child has stopped growing 8 weeks. So I said until I'm 12 weeks, that's when I will go to the hospital.
Yes.
So actually, I stayed for 3 months. I counted the weeks until when they say, in medicine they say like the pregnancy becomes stable at like 16 weeks there.
Yes.
When I knew now this pregnancy is staying and is stable,
Yes.
I did not even take multivitamins.
Folic acid.
Those folic acids, I did not take them. I said no. I'm not. Let it. If it's coming off, let it come off. I'm ready. But I know God, you are the one who gave me this child, and you're going to sustain it.
Yes.
And when I went there, I went home in peace. Even my husband later on, when I had the child, he used to say he could not believe. He was like walking on
Eggshells.
yeah, because he was waiting to any call. Something has happened, and he would see me growing bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
And he would be like this is happening for real. This is happening for real.
Yeah.
Because there are certain things that happen to you that they leave you traumatized until you can't believe it. And I think God wanted it to be so because for my child's birth and everything, when I look back, I only see God. I can't say this is what I did. I went to this hospital. Right now, for those people like I talk to and they are waiting, I don't tell them go to my gynecologist the best. Like the way people used to tell me. Me, I had many contacts of gynecologists. Everybody was telling in that period of 8 years, I had gone like to five of them. And God proved like it's not going to the gynas. It's good to go so that because there are people with some serious issues, but my testimony does not come from it's this person.
Yes.
It comes from it's God.
Surely God.
God. Because I had tried everything. I'd taken those fertility medicines.
Yes.
I had done everything, but it was God. When I decided to let go, it's when God like
Took over.
and it became a testimony. And I think even in that pregnancy, I never got sick because now I have a second child.
Yes.
The second pregnancy, it was horrible. I went through it all. It was horrible.
Yeah. Tell us
It
about
was bad because I used to get like the colds and feel sick, and I was working like night shift, so the fatigue and the small issues, nausea. I got morning sickness throughout the pregnancy.
Yes.
So that one I experienced. The first one, it was all roses. Only my tummy was big. Everything else
normal.
I was even as my husband was telling me, why do you walk so fast like that? Because I would tell him I'm going to the shopping, and he think of calling me for something. I'm gone. He's like, why do you rush? I tell him, I don't rush. I'm just walking normally. because I used to feel like a bouncing ball. And you know, when you're pregnant, you don't know if when you have waited to be pregnant,
Yeah.
and then finally you are pregnant, and now you are not afraid
Yes.
because it's stable.
Yes.
Because I used even to to go to the internet and check, and I could see children born at 32 weeks and they are healthy, and
Yes.
like they were removed from like a tiny baby to, so I was safe. I knew
They can get
nothing is
from that.
happening. I was like nothing. So I was so pregnant, I would go like this. And I was so excited and I was not sick. Like it was all roses everywhere. I was so
Did you have
excited and
cravings
happy.
though?
Yeah, I craved eggs. I used to, I was, because I had a shop. There was a woman even who we used to even give me for credit eggs, boiled eggs
Yeah.
for credit. Like, and I'm telling him because my mother-in-law told me if you eat too many eggs, the baby will have like an overweight, which is it will become overweight in a way that is not normal.
Uh-huh.
So I decided to cut down.
Oh.
But that woman, because she was used to me eating eggs in the morning and evening, I tell her, no, I'm not eating today. I don't have money. You just eat, even if you pay me in 2 weeks, I don't care.
Uh-huh.
Then
Just
I would
take
tell,
the egg.
no, no, I don't want them. No, just take. And then she would prepare it for me with the
He's already
kachumbari. I had to tell her, no, I was told by the doctor to go through with the
all the eggs.
eggs.
Yeah.
Hey, I used to crave eggs.
Ah.
But I thank God because what I can say is through that journey, my relationship with God came to another level.
Yeah.
Like it was like a journey whereby I came to know God with in a different way.
Yeah.
It's not about like what I have heard like from the Bible for Hannah, and because I had prayed all those prayers,
Yeah.
like the prayer of Sarah, or the way she laughed, or Hannah, the way she prayed and said, "I'll give God back to you," like the prayer that God says, "There shall be no barrenness in your land." Any those all those testimonies for other people in
You
the
had picked
Bible,
them.
I had like had them, but now I came to know them for myself. Like it moved from the book, and then it became
Life.
my life and my testimony. So I came to know God in a different way, and right now I know there's nothing that God can't do. So if you are there and you feel like this thing, not just the child, there are so many things that we wish and hope for, because what I've come to realize is that lives like you have no issues with children, but maybe there is that situation that maybe felt impossible to you. Everyone has that situation.
True, that's true.
I have come to realize that God is like He is the master planner of everything. And I think if at this time I had like at this time what I'm going through, if it had happened earlier on, I was not prepared for it. But God gave me the children at this time because this is the time that I'm prepared to deal with toddlers.
Yes.
Then He knows at that time I'll be prepared to deal with teenagers. So He did not make it earlier or
Not
before.
later.
And I had to go through those kind of experiences so that I can learn for myself, and I
Yeah.
can learn more about Him, and so that I can have like a testimony that to tell someone who is going through the same thing that you can overcome it. That situation that feels impossible, God can do it for you. And if you are in waiting, just wait for God, and let go and let God. But if you feel like crying, cry, because that is therapy. If you cross in and like ujishike sana, you might like lose your mind.
Yes.
Just you go through the process. Crying does not mean you don't have faith, but it will make you like move a day, move like a step ahead, and don't feel like bad, because when you are waiting for a child, there is this fear that comes. Me, I never used to go like see people's children and get excited, because I was fearing like, what if they overjudge me, or something happens to the child and they think it's me out of jealousy, because I know everybody knows my issue, because I came to get I gave birth in 2022. So since, if you count from 2022 to from 2014,
Yes.
because 2014 is when I began like actively seeking for a child, that is like eight years.
Yes.
Like from since I got married, it was going 9 years. So for those 8 years, most people knew that we could not get a child, and some of them did not know I had gone through miscarriages, so they thought I was barren.
Yeah.
So I was so afraid, like, don't go touching people's children, because if something happens, they must say it's you. But I would tell somebody, you don't be afraid. Just interact with people. When somebody is having their happy moment, be happy with them.
Yes.
And me, I had reached at that point and said, if my friend something is happening to them, like they are having children, they are celebrating anything, I'll be happy with them because I know my turn is coming. You just be there, do everything, don't be afraid. But although people judge people in different ways, but don't be afraid. Just go out there, have fun, and wait for God. Because if you truly trust in the Lord, He shall not He shall not shame you, because His word is true. He says He shall do it for you.
Yes.
And what He says, if there is something that God does, He does not lie.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that God does not do. He does not lie, and He's faithful. He does not sleep. He does not slumber. He knows all our tears. He knows all our needs, and He says He will fulfill them at appointed time.
Yeah.
He's coming to fulfill them, and I have seen it with God, because even my second child, it was a testimony. Because at that time,
Yeah.
as I told you, we had quitted trying.
Yes.
So we got my first child easily. Like, we did not try, we did not look at the cycles. And after I gave birth, I decided, me, I'm not taking the family planning. If I get a child, like when the other one is 2 months,
It's okay.
let's roll with it. So so when, like, I got the child, and then the child was 1 year, 2 years, I was not pregnant. So we were like, should we start trying again? Then we said, well, remember, we said not trying.
Yes.
We said it's God plan. So when we continued, so when I came to realize I'm pregnant again, we were like, when did it happen? Because it was in between Christmas holidays and January, end of January, I was like pregnant. And when did it happen? Are you sure? It was around December when we think it happened. So if my husband thought I was unfaithful, he would have said, this is not my baby. Because the maths could not add up. And me, weirdly, at that time, there was a wedding in church. It was a season where we were so busy, so I could not remember my last period. When was it? I had lost track. Like, we were so busy. Like, we are so carefree. You don't care about life. You are just going. Then you are pregnant. You are like, when was my last period?
Can't remember.
I could take the calendar. Rewind. I no. When was it? When was it? You don't know, but the symptoms are there. And so when I told him I want to take the test and see if I'm pregnant, he said, why are you taking the test? Because he was afraid. Now, are you going back to where we are coming from? Because in those 8 years, the tests are bought.
Many.
I'm thinking, because I think when you are stressed, your hormones change, and you might feel
They
maybe
exhibit the pregnancy
the
symptoms.
pregnancy symptoms, but there is nothing.
Yeah.
You even miss your period for 2-3 months.
Yeah.
Kumbe, it's because you are stressed and overwhelmed and everything, so your hormones change. So he's afraid. He has that fear of buying test kits. Like, if he hears you are buying test kits, he will say, don't buy. Wait. If you're pregnant, you will have to carry it 9 months. So don't be bothered. Why are you in a hurry? But I told him, no, I'm going to buy the test kit. If I'm not pregnant, take me to the hospital because I'm sick. And so I bought it and I tested and told him, I'm pregnant. He said, why are you joking with me? That's when now you are doing the calculation, like, when were you pregnant? When did we do it? So even the second child was like a testimony of it's God's doing. We had no part in it. Like, we were not like actively searching.
Yes.
And we did not know when it happened. Because I remember when I was in the bathroom in the village on 26th of December, and I said, if I was at home this time, I know I'll get pregnant. That's what I said. And then at that time, I was telling everybody, next year, a time like this, I will come here with children. I'm going to carry my second born. So my mother-in-law was like, oh, she was like, she's pregnant. She's just telling us,
Oh,
corner,
you
corner.
ah, I get.
And so he called my husband and said, hey, they called me Waidera. Waidera na molitoy? And then he said, no. Are you sure?
Huh?
Ako natin na ito, Sister ako karakan. And my sister-in-law had a newborn at that time. I was like, hey, this is me next year now. This is like it was like a big joke, like,
Yeah.
but I
You
knew
are
I was
just joking.
ready. I knew I was ready,
Mm.
but not like for next year. If it's me, now this year is when I will be getting a child.
Ah,
I carried the pregnancy next year,
yes.
and then last year, and then
Then
this
this
year.
year get
Yeah,
child.
but
But
it
it was not
happened.
your plan.
It was not a part of my plan that I would be pregnant and get pregnant. I get a child in the same year.
Mhm.
So I was so joking. So it had already happened.
Yeah,
It was
the
in the first
spirit.
stages.
Uh,
I did not know. So after January, it's when I came to know, yeah, I'm pregnant with my second born. And we were like, these months are not adding up. So it's a testimony from God. And it was a surprise. We got a boy.
wow.
And then I said, God, you have given me balance.
Yeah.
because now I have a girl and a boy.
Yes.
What God cannot do. And I say, and when I got the second born is when I said, I spoke like Leah. When he was given a child, he would say something.
Mm.
Me, I said, now all my enemies, even the devil is ashamed.
Eh,
If they thought it was a problem with my husband, it's now cancelled, or with me, it's now cancelled because now we have a girl and we have a boy.
Wow.
And we did not plan. I did
Uh,
not pray to God like, God, now I have a girl, give me a boy. No. Because when I know I was pregnant, I said, oh, another blessing
yes.
from God, something we were not expecting. When it came, it was a boy, we were like, oh my God.
A double blessing.
Yeah. Even
Wow.
now, I always tell my child, my husband, this is a dream. I always call him a dream. He is a dream.
Mm.
Like, it's like you're living in a dream because you could not even have, like, God, I would not have thought or imagined. And when I look at him, I see the Bible fulfilled, like something that we have not thought of, imagined, or it has not come into my mind.
Mm.
God
God
has done
done.
it. So if you are waiting, I have talked too much. If you are waiting,
Mm.
trust in God. Let's trust in God, and everything else, if we leave it to Him,
Mhm.
He will not make us ashamed.
Yeah.
He will, everything that He has begun, He will accomplish it.
Yeah.
He doesn't. If you are like, if you are going through that hard thing, and right now you feel you are at the pit,
Mm.
and you feel like you cannot overcome it, just know that time heals everything. When the time comes, and the word of God says He makes everything beautiful at His time, not
Yes.
at your time.
Yes.
You think that getting that thing at now, it's what will make you happy, but when it happens at God's time,
Mm.
you get that joy that you have never imagined,
Mm.
because it will not be your doing, it will not be your effort, it will be all about God.
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
And then I've learned like the test that you had to go through, only you could bear it.
Yeah.
Only you could
God
bear
cannot
it.
only, yeah. And then everything that we go through, what I can go through, it's not what you can go
That's
through.
true.
But I don't have to think that mine is so like heavy than yours.
That's true.
What you are given, that burden that you are carrying is just for you,
Mm.
and it's heavy for you.
Yeah.
If you like want validation from people like, oh, nihurumieni naenda this, nobody will feel that, because everybody has their own like
Capabilities.
things they are going through.
Mm.
If you are looking for like support and validation from them, they can only leave you broken.
Yes.
But if you live with it to God,
Mm.
God is the one who will carry you through.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's good.
Mm.
And that's so inspiring. Like I don't even have the words.
We are friends, and
Yes.
some things you are hearing them right now.
Yes, some things I'm
Yeah.
hearing. Only those
Like
details. I didn't have
details.
the details. I
Yeah.
know this happened
Mm.
and then this happened.
Yeah, you
But
come to
then
know like this is happening, but
yes,
not in that details,
yes, yes.
because most of the time, like me, I don't like bothering people too much with your burden, because you also know, like when we were going through the like when your husband came to help us, you were just newlyweds.
Yes.
So we could not have like burdened you. Oh, come!
We could have come anyway.
Like, okay, you are calling for help, but not like too much. We are waiting for you. If you don't come, we are going to die. You just, you see, and then your husband was so helpful because he came running and he discarded everything and he spent the whole day with us.
Yes, yes.
He just came, and you are that time you are newlyweds.
I
Like,
was at work and he told me we were
He-
very,
he-
2018 we were newlyweds. November 2018 was the wedding. Then
yeah,
2019 was
and that
our
thing,
first year.
it was on January. So you see, you had like 2 months so there are things that when you are facing, even though you have close friends, you don't just want to, like, you have to consider them at the back of your mind, like they're in this stage, don't overwhelm them. And that's why I'm saying God is the one who takes you through, because like right now I have like an we can almost call him a newborn. There are things that I cannot do for a friend, but so when they consider me, I will not know like
Yes.
in details.
Yes.
And I think that's what happens. Like with friends, you may not tell them the details because you're afraid, no, utambebesha mzigo mzito. Hata yeye akona mambo ingine ana go through at that time. So, but God is good, God is faithful, and you have stood with us through it all, and we are so grateful.
Amen.
Yeah.
So I think, like you have said, through that, sometimes you go through so many hard things, and after we are out of it, is then we realize, God, you really wanted me to learn something out of this hard situation.
You know,
it was like a training, but it was so hard for me to realize. I could just see it.
You know, when you are going through something, when you are going through the test, you don't want to hear that this is a test for you. You don't want to hear it.
Please tell me
Even when
something
you know
perfect.
it, you just tell me something different. I don't want the test.
Give me another one. Thank you so much, Julie, for this. For telling us that, and the inspiration that many of us have drawn from your story. It's such an inspiring story, and I hope, my viewer, that this story has inspired you and created an awareness. And whoever is feeling they're in this situation, as Julie, take from story, be encouraged by it. Your situation is very different, and let God take you through the process as He should. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, stay safe.